to get this one in 5 minutes. So this is my setup. I'm using VS Code. Over here I have an empty folder. That's my project folder. Over on the right I have the second sidebar open, and in it I have Amazon Q running. So the first thing we're going to do is start out with a prompt to get Q to help us figure out what to do. So here's my prompt. We're going to create a demo app for you that's going to showcase AI assisted development, and it's going to be an entrepreneur idea validation tool. So this is my prompt. To save time, I'm not going to talk about it much. Copy, give this to Q so he can help me out. Now that prompt I'm pasting, I actually had AI help me write it based on what we're doing here. So let's see what Q has to say. Our plan is to actually build an app with one feature in it in 5 minutes. Sequential thinking is an MCP server that helps Q step through a problem logically. And I did not bias it with a tech stack except to say it needs to run locally on Windows. So I'm going to let it come up with whatever it thinks is best. All right, single feature would be a market opportunity analysis. Okay. Minimal tech stack, it's suggesting Vanilla.js Tailwind, never heard of it. Python Flask, okay. OpenAI API integration, which I do have access to. So anyway, we may or may not get this actually working, but you'll be able to see how we could. So the prompts, all right. Start building this demo application for you to first create the needed prompts to build this application. The plan is to delegate tasks to individual AI agents to do the needed work. We don't have to operate in parallel at this time. Any questions? Okay. Question. Do you want me to prompt structure for sequential handoff, agent 1, agent 2, or as independent task prompts? Okay. Would be great, though I believe there may be some dependencies to take into account, such as initial framework. So it's starting to write prompts. So the idea here is to write the prompts and make sure they are good before we actually execute the work. So it's updating and working right now. So this is the approach I've been taking, is to have Q first create the detailed prompts that describe the work. You could kind of think of it as creating your Jira project or your Trello project with all the individual tasks well defined first. Okay. Oh, we're at 4 minutes already. Man, time flies. Okay. All right. Updated the prompts to be independent. Okay. Each agent now has everything needed to do them. All right. So it says it has created individual prompts. I see one big file with different agent prompts. Okay. Let me ask it about that. Do I use this to inform my agents? Seems like it, to me, it seems like it should have been multiple prompt files. Separate prompt. Okay, so now it's going to create separate prompts. So you can see it's really good at things, but it does need some human oversight to kind of guide it. I mean, apply our common sense to things. So agent 1, agent 2, agent 3. Okay. So when it's done, I'm going to ask it if I need to start with, I'm assuming I need to start with 1, but I just want to clarify with it. Oh, it gave me instructions already. All right. 4 prompts. Give this to my back-end developer AI, my front-end developer AI, my AI prompt engineer. Okay. Let's see. Depending on what it says here, I'm probably going to full parallel. You know what? Let's give it a whirl. Let me turn on my little terminal here. So what I'm going to do is launch 4 different queues in Ubuntu terminals. I will name this guy Agent 1. Let me get 4 of them going here. Let's just see what happens. Rename this guy. Yeah, that is tipped. Agent 2. Get this one going. Come on, buddy. Agent 3. And it says we can use 4 in parallel. Let's give that a whirl. Agent 4. All right. So let me go back to each of these and instantiate Q. I'll just take Q chat. There's that one. We go to this one. Q chat. Go to this one and get it going. Q chat. And this one, Q chat. All right, so we'll go back to this one, and according to this first prompt, or first agent, I can simply tell it to check out this prompt. So let me right click, I'm going to copy path. I'm going to tell this read and execute the prompt file at this Windows path. And I'm saying Windows path because these terminals are Linux terminals, so I'm going to need it to translate. So let me get that one going. Same here, copy path. Oops, I mistyped my Q chat on this one. Let me get it going. All right. Please read and execute the prompt file at Windows path. Okay. Agent 3, copy path. Let's read, execute the prompt at Windows path. And agent 4, copy path. I forgot to hit enter. Okay. Get that guy fired up. Please read and execute the prompt file at Windows path. All right, let's go check on our first agent, see what's going on. Give it a little more room here. Oh, it wants permission, so I'm just going to say T for trust. Let it do its work. I forgot. It's good about not just doing things without asking. So let's go get these guys kicked off. And you can see part of our human role is to do a little management here. This guy's thinking. Now you can see other files starting to appear here as the agents do their work and create, these are Python scripts here. So let's just check on them. All right, this guy's working. Let me create a simple test script. So, and these will create scripts, execute the scripts, correct the errors they find in their own scripts. It's really cool. Agent 2, what's he say? Ready for demo. He says it's ready for demo. We'll come back to that in a minute. Agent 3, he's working. Agent 4, it needed some trust. And here's some trust for you. All right, so he's reading through. He likes his instructions. Now, of course, what we would have done in real life is thoroughly reviewed these prompt files before it did anything. Let's see. All right, it runs at localhost 5000. Let me just ask it. How do I start it? Or is it already running? Not sure if it knows or not, but we'll find out. This was Agent 1. It wants to do some sequential thinking. That's fine. That's fine. I'll ask this agent too, since he invented the whole thing. When the agents are done, how do I run this application? This guy wants some more trust. There you go. Agent 2 is sitting idle, says it's ready. This guy needs some trust. Give him some trust. Go do your thing. This guy's sitting idle and thinks he's done. This is what he delivered. This guy says, all right, quick start commands, pip install requirements. I'm going to actually fire me up another little terminal here and say install -r requirements. Let's get all the Python requirements installed. Okay. We're going to set an open API key, which let me see if I can find that key. Got a little bit of yellow. Yellows are just warnings, no big deal. That's installed. Start the app. So when these other agents are completely finished, that one's done, that one's done, that one's still working. We'll wait till they're all done. In the meantime, let me go find that API key that we need. Get that value. I'm asking it over here. All right, so this guy's done. So 1 is done, 2 is done, 3 is done, 4 is done. Let me get my API key and see if this actually does work. All right, see if we can get that. In the meantime, let's go to localhost 5000 and just see if by chance, oh, I need to run it first. Yeah, that's why we need to wait. Let's wait for that. Wait till I get this API key, and then we'll run this thing and see what it looks like. Okay, I got it all. I think I have my API key set in the environment. So now I'm going to fire up my Flask app, Python app.py. Allow. Okay, development server. Don't use it in production. Okay, cool. All right, looks like it's running. Let's go to localhost 5000 and see if we actually can get to this thing.
Some way down.
Nope. All right, just real quick, it didn't load up, so I asked my agent here to take a look at it. And so it's doing some looking at the code and some file reading. It says it sees an issue. No homepage route. Don't go to localhost 5000 instead. So /health. Let's try that out. The /health endpoint. Apparently it's a routing issue. Okay. Yeah, healthy. Good. So it's cool how the agents can help us figure out what's going on. Front end. All right. what are we supposed to go to? Index.html. So let's see. Let's try that.
Do something for the files. So take a pause.
Nope. I'm going to pause you again while I troubleshoot this so you don't have to watch. All right. So turns out we were missing a route. I had this guy help me, told him I wanted it to just land on the index page when I hit this URL. And so he modified the app py, added the route, did a few things. I restarted the app here, and now this loaded up. So I got this. So let me describe a business idea. An idea to start a company that does agentic first development to help established software companies re-platform their legacy apps. I have no idea if this will work. Let's see. Well, let's see. Didn't analyze API error, unable to determine target audience. All right, so seems like there's an error somewhere. So it requires some more troubleshooting. This was just straight out of the gate, developing the app. But the infrastructure is there. What also encourages me is that it did create test files to test the back end. So what I'll be having agents do is I'll give them the errors that I find and tell it to troubleshoot the errors and for their part of the work, and they will do that. But this is the basic approach. And I said 5 minutes, we're at 17. Sorry about that. But this is the general approach I've been taking and learning from. This will be part 2 as I troubleshoot what's going on with the AI agent. So what I noticed is when I first started it up, debugger is active. On the front end, we got an error, just a little simple error, unavailable due to API error. But the error itself showed up here in the console, the Python console. So I'm copying that. I went over here to my primary agent and said, hey, I got an error. Who should I give it to? And he said, give it to agent 1, backend API developer. So we're going to go to agent 1. And I'm going to say, I received an error attempting to evaluate an idea using OpenAI. Here is the error. Let's see what he can do for us. Maybe get something fixed. I probably need to shut this down too, so let me go ahead and Control C that guy. That way you can modify files and not worry about it. So he's doing some sequential thinking through the problem. Version compatibility with OpenAPI library. Purpose. Check the current content. I love how it just goes through the steps itself. We don't have to, walk it through, hold its hand all that much. So let's see if he arrives at a solution, at least thinks he arrives at a solution that we can test again. It's a lot faster than a human dev, but still, it's not lightning fast. A little bit of time involved here. I'll pause this while it's thinking. All right, so the agent worked through some issues. He decided that he needed to upgrade the OpenAPI library. So he actually ran all the code to install the latest version. I didn't tell it to do that. It just did it, upgrading the library. Then it did a test. Now, it wasn't able to fully test it because this terminal doesn't have the API key in the environment. And it realized that, so it let me know that to test it's working, set the OpenAPI API key, start the app, and go there. And go to health, visit health. So we'll try that. So the environment variable is set here. So let me just restart the app. Now that it's made some changes. Retro, got some more error. Let me give that back to the first agent. Got an error on startup. Let him work through that guy. All right, I'll pause you again while he's working through this. Okay, just checking back in here. I gave it that error. It worked through some stuff. At the end here, it says that that it fixed it, and it was proxy's error is completely resolved. I've restarted the app. Let's go to the front end and just see what happens. Let me reload this guy. And actually, let me do what it initially said. Go to health. Just see what that says. It just says healthy. Okay. I guess that's good. Let's go back here and try our idea again. For a company that replatforms legacy web applications using agentic development. Let's see if our API call works. Configuration required. Not configured. Not configured. API setup. All right. Well, there's another one. I will pause you again and come back. All right. This is pretty cool. So here's what happened. I gave it the error and it was working through some ideas again. And then I recalled the fact that I have a different Python script in another project that does use OpenAPI successfully. So I went over to that project and asked Q. I told Q, hey, I have another project where the agent's having some difficulty with OpenAI. And what it did, and so I asked it if it could put together a prompt for me to help the other agent out based on what we did over here. So it did. It put a prompt together, which I copied and pasted to my other agent. And it said that was awesome. Yeah, let me use that pattern, etc., etc. I gave it the key. It actually ran the tests against the API and said it works great. You should be good to go. So let's find out. Actually, it looks like it's running. I'm going to stop it and restart it. I thought I had turned this off. All right, so it started without error. Let's go back to the front end. I've reloaded. Okay, a company that replatforms aging but successful web applications for established companies whose tech stack is out of date. Let's see, no, that's enough. Let's just see at least if we get some calls. Oh, man. Well, let's see if we got an error. Yep, still got an error. So I'm going to pause you. I'm going to get this working. All right, so I think I figured out what's going on. The Agent 1 did fix things and tested it in its own environment, and it worked fine. But I had failed to rerun the requirements install in my PowerShell terminal. So even though Agent 1 fixed it and it worked fine for him, running my app over here, which is where I'm serving it out of, that may have been the problem. So I just did a pip install over here in my PowerShell, and let's fire it up again and give it a whirl. All right, yes, it is running. One more time. Got to reload. A company that does replatforming using an agentic AI approach for aging companies with successful but aging web applications. I just want to see an API call work. Hey, it's thinking longer this time. Check it out. All right, market size. So here's the market size based on the idea, the target audience, established companies, modernize their digital presence, stay competitive, viability score. Of course, all this can be tweaked with the built-in prompts on the backside. Key competitors, nice to know. All right, it worked. That's the end of my demo. We've been at this for probably an hour. So in an hour, got a very rough working business idea validator that leverages OpenAI to evaluate the idea. There you go.